All right, guys, welcome back. It's another Wednesday night. We're doing this again. My name's Troy Hoffman. I'm a guy that's out there trying to help other entrepreneurs that are in the 0 to 15 million, 0 to 75 employee space grow, scale, and exit their companies. And if you're looking for someone that's like been there, done that, that's why I keep doing this, because I didn't have people that were able to help me, give me straight line guidance when I first started this. So we've got StreamYard here, we've got Instagram here. And I'm also practicing. I want to get better at speaking. I want to get better at sharing information. I want to get better at helping you build your company and get the results you're looking for. Because, man, I didn't get a lot of help in the beginning when I was starting my companies. There wasn't the amount of people and information out there. And now with all the people and all the information, it's like, what do I trust? What do I go after? Who do I even listen to, right? So I've been spending the last 3 years going deep with tons and tons of entrepreneurs, helping them grow, scale their companies, figure out their vision, figure out what they want to do with their companies. So today we're actually going to talk about how do you build a deeper rapport to get the customers you want? How do you build a deeper rapport? Literally, these techniques work with you, with your spouse, with people that work with you, works with people that you're trying to market to. And this is all part of this like 5-part series we put together for the Hatch course on how to really grow and scale companies. And how do you actually deal with it on a regular basis? This is only for owner founders, people that want to build a business, they want to run a business. You could have one employee, you could have hundreds of employees. The same concepts work. So today, I would almost like to think about this, right? A lot of the things we're going to go over, you're like, Troy, I know that. Well, are you doing it is the question. And the reason I start out with this premise is because of this. There is one guy that, man, really deeply changed my perspective on a lot of things, right? His name was Robert D. McDonald. He's one of the original founders of something called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. And Robert D. McDonald, back in the early 70s, was coming up with all these modalities, and he was running men's groups and helping people truly transform their lives since the early 70s. And Robert D. McDonald said, hey, the most important skill that people really don't have is listening. And he spent 3 days at my office, and me and this guy, Aaron Robinson, recorded 3 days of Robert D. McDonald teaching on one thing, how to be a better listener. And I was like, why would you teach 3 days on listening? Listening is easy. I just sit here, I listen to someone talk, and then I respond. He's like, no, there's so much more to it. And what I want to challenge you with is no matter what aspect of your life you're looking at, there's always more. There's always the next level. There's always the next level. How can I improve whatever I'm good at? How do I make it better? And what I want to challenge you today is maybe your skill set is connecting. Maybe your skill set is sales. Maybe your skill set is going after customers. Maybe your skill set is actually building rapport with people. But the question is this, right? How masterful are you at it? Could you teach it for 3 days straight? One skill set of how do I connect deeper with people? And so today, if you wanted to ask yourself, okay, how are you connecting with people? Where are you not connecting? Number one would be the first thing, I guess, to ask, right? Like the one thing is like, how do I listen better if I'm actually connecting people? That's what I learned from Dr. Robert D. McDonald. And I think that's the first thing is like, where are we not connecting? Where are we causing fights with our spouse? Where are we causing fights with our employees? Where are we having clashes with people going on first? I think that's the number one. Number two after that is like, okay, well, what results am I getting? Can I easily walk in a room? Can I build instant rapport and connection with anybody I actually meet? I remember one of my friends joked a long time ago. It's like, Troy, when you go to heaven, you're going to be one of the few guys that knows everybody's name because you constantly want to say hi and meet everybody. I was like, yes, it's just how I'm built. And not everyone's built that way. So for my skill, it is easy for me to walk in a room and just want to go talk to people, want to get to know people. And someone asked me, Troy, well, how do you make so many friends when you go to a conference? And I don't know. I just have a natural thing. Like I just want to say hi. I just want to say, where are you from? I want to know who the person is. And I actually genuinely care who people are. I actually want to connect with people. I want to get to know people. I want to be, everyone's best friend. It's just an innate desire somewhere built inside of me. I've had this since I was a kid. And if you don't have that innate desire, well, what desire do you have? What skill set do you have is the question. And what we want to do today is ask better questions so we get better answers, so we can choose where we want to focus on. Like which skill set of yours do you want to focus on and say, I'm going to practice this one thing where I can teach my skill set for 3 days straight. And the question is, what is that one thing we're going to focus on? I literally did a call this week, and I was talking to this one guy, and he said this one profound thing. He's like, most people don't go to counseling, don't do coaching, don't do any type of mentorship. And I was like, well, why? And it was so simple. He's because they don't want to deal with their own shit. They don't want to look at their own problems. They don't want to look at how they can improve, because then they have to actually be accountable and actually go do something. And a lot of these calls and a lot of these conferences and a lot of these videos that people are posting all over the place, man, still only 15% of the population is watching anything in personal development. Only 15% of the population still today is only accessing all these tools out there, at least watching and devouring it. They're the one buying the books. They're the one buying the courses. They're the one spending the money to go to the seminars. And the other 85% still aren't, when it's free. I mean, Instagram is loaded with stuff. YouTube is loaded with stuff, of free stuff that we can go and look at and say, how do we improve? But we're not doing it. So Ashley, let's go to the first slide. So this is one of the key things I learned from neurolinguistic programming. And one of the key things is trying to reach out to people is this: you've got to break the pattern. And you always see all these guys, I don't know, I think it was targeted on my Instagram years ago. And it was all these like dating coaches and these pickup artists. And there was like, it was always like, okay, how do you break the pattern? Of course, you want to watch it when you're single. You're like, okay, well, how do you talk to a girl if you're single? Or how do you pick up somebody, right, that you're meeting somewhere? Well, one of the things they're always talking about in there is pattern interrupts, doing things different, doing things that they're not expecting. And or being so genuine and so truthful in your approach with people, they're just not expecting it, right? So one of the ways to even connect with deeper with people is being authentically you. And that's like the new trend, I think, around the world, around America, being open and vulnerable and all this stuff. But it's something that's been there for decades, for hundreds of years, for thousands of years. And the more we dive into the thing is like, okay, breaking the pattern, one of the things to break the pattern could be truly, man, just showing up authentically as yourself and being truth. And that was another thing we learned from these dating coaches years ago. I was like, I'd watch some of their stuff and they would be like, man, just be you. The best thing you do to attract people is to be you. So where in your business, where in your personal life, do you actually just need to be you? Where do you need to just practice being like authentically who you are? Being authentically, you don't have to be anybody else. You can be yourself with full of flaws. Your business can be full of flaws, but if truth, you are who you are, man, your business will grow. And I think today, if you really want to take something and start writing a question down and be like, okay, number one, like, how do I become more of who I am? I think would be number one, because I swear this will be a pattern break, because so many people in sales, so many people that are at these conferences, everyone's trying to hustle and angle and trying to slip in and trying to get to know somebody just to get a sale or to make money. And you can see it. You can see their energy. You can see their approach. You can see how they handle people. They literally just, hi, my name's blah, 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 and I'd love to sell you this. My name's blah, 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 and I'd love to sell you this. And you're like, oh, please don't bother me. Or they get on the phone and they go right into the pitch or something. And you're like, just commentate. What's your name? And people don't want to be sold. They want to buy, but they don't want us to be sold. And the question is, how do you create your energy to attract the customers you want? How do you create the energy to bring in the people in your life that you want? And if you're not getting the results you want, you got to ask yourself why. You literally do. Because there is a next level of results for you, but only if you truly look at your own crap. There's a next level of results in your life, but only if you're willing to hold up the mirror and really look at yourself and say, okay, what's holding me back from going to this next level? And if you can't hold the mirror up for yourself, how do you get someone else to help you? How do you get a mentor? How do you get a coach? How do you get a specific person in your life somewhere that's going to help you go to the next level? And here's the problem. This message is only for the top 1 to 4% of people out there. Most entrepreneurs don't want to look at their problems. Most people running and building and scaling companies truly don't want to go the depth of themselves to discover what's next, to become who they need to become to build the next level. And if your business is not growing, if you're not getting the results you want, there's only one person to blame. It's you. Man, it's your fault for all the success you've had. It's your fault for all the failures we've had. It's your fault. And the question is, it's your fault if we're not growing. It's your fault if you're not getting the results you want. And I think we need to look at this and say, okay, who's helping you get these next results, right? Susan, where's that slide again, Ashley? Pull that thing up again. So back to this, right? Where in this, going back to this frame right here, guys, if you're breaking the pattern, you're being authentically yourself and you're walking in, you're literally changing their frame because you're being authentic and being real. And you're like, hey, my name's Troy. Yeah, I do this. I sell this. Man, my name's Troy Hoffman. Right now, I am currently helping entrepreneurs scale. If you want to use me or not, great, but find somebody. Man, that is changing their frame because I'm not pitching. I don't really care. I don't need your business. I don't need to make money from you. What I do need is for you to build great businesses. What I do need is for more Americans to build incredible entrepreneurship. And then from there, every entrepreneur around the world get better, faster, and brighter at what they're doing to keep positivity going in this world, to keep freedom alive going in this world. That's what I need from entrepreneurs, right? I need people that are willing to get better at business so they're better bosses, because then when people go home, they're not frustrated. They're not angry at work. They're not pulling their hair out, hating their life, and then taking on their wife and kids when they go home. See, my motivation for doing all this is literally to build a better society because I watched my dad struggle. I watched myself struggle, not getting the right information, not knowing who to listen to, not be able to grab all the pieces and put it together in a cohesive manner that would help me on a straight path to accomplish what I wanted in my business. Secondly, I couldn't find the right people that were able to take all the information from personal development to taxes to day in, day out management, software architecture, and put it all together in how do I live this? How do I build this at each stage and do the right thing at the right time? And so that's why we spend so much time in this. That's why we spend so much time teaching these processes to you, right? So we're walking in being authentically ourselves. That's breaking the pattern, number one. And I promise you, this will change everything. You be you, you will start attracting people. You share what you do, you share who you are, and you go in it not being needy, right? You just say, this is who I am, this is what I offer, and this is why it's amazing. And we're just going back into old school sales, but in a true way, that you actually are there to actually help them. If that's your heart, that's your intention, that is a great place to start, because I promise you this, it will start bringing people into your world that want to work with you. And man, that is number one. And then we're attracting what we want into our lives. We're not operating out of need. We're not operating out of desperation. We're not operating out of anything, but man, we're being authentically us, because the world is full of people just trying to hustle and take. And with you're there to serve and give. And Drew's in the house. Okay. Drew is a great example of someone that hustle and gives. I swear to God, he is not trying to take from anybody. He is giving 24/7 to anybody he comes into contact with a pure heart. And I promise that's why his business is growing. That's why a guy like Drew works with the best of the best in America. Literally the top talent in America in a very specific world of his. And he'll share with you all about it if you ever want to look up Drew and talk to Drew directly. Let's go to the next slide, Ashley. So we're just going to read through these. All of these, again, are in the Hatch manual. We've got like a 60-page document that'll help you. It's a cheat sheet almost to run your business. It's a quick snapshot. If you want a free copy, hit me up. I'll send it to you. It's something we created a few years ago. And it's got all these questions for you to take time, journal, and look at your business and say, okay, where am I at? Where am I going? What am I trying to accomplish? So how do you build rapport? One, we talked about this before in the beginning. Man, if you don't know how to build rapport, there are tons of videos out there, tons of things. And the question is this: how do I become a master at building rapport? There are thousands of videos now out there on body language, thousands of videos taking all the NLP techniques. Which way is their eye looking? Which way are they looking up? Are they looking down? How are they sitting? How are they standing? How are they holding their voice? Like all these things. How are you mirror and matching people? Like all these things are out there. How do you connect deeply with your target? How do you ask your target? How do you actually care about what they're saying? And how do you do this authentically is the question, and not using these skills just to try to get your way with people, but using these skills to actually try to benefit them and you at the same time. And I think that's one of the things a lot of people have with NLP. And a lot of people have taken these skills and they're using it for evil, not for good. And so I'm hoping more people will rise to the occasion of being good out there. What creative will capture their attention? So now we're on this, switching over from you to what type of marketing. And I worked with someone recently who sent me a file that was absolutely amazing of specifically a look and feel and the design. I was like, man, that is good creative, right? Like when we see good creative, it just attracts us to things, right? And I think one of the questions is, are you spending the money on good creative? And if you don't have the money, go sign up for Design Pickle. If you guys haven't had a chance to go check out Design Pickle, I think Russ Perry is a good friend of mine who started that. It's an amazing firm. They've got talent all over the world. They're building AI products inside their company just for their own designers to execute faster on building better design, better videos, better websites for their customers. So you're getting more amazing opportunities and ideas better, faster, cheaper. And so sign up for Design Pickle if you don't have an opportunity right now, guys. If you don't have a design staff. If you do, go hire a high-end design firm. Spend the money on it. Like, don't be cheap. Spend what you can when you can. Because I promise you, what people understand where you're at. It's okay to be where you're at. Be truthfully where you're at. If you're a sole proprietor starting by yourself and it's just one person in a backpack and you're like, okay, I'm living out of a backpack, so I'm starting my business. People respect that. People want to be a part of your success story. People want to be a part of your journey. People want to be the cheerleader in the background going, go Troy, go Drew, go. Whoever it is, they want to cheerlead you on and they want to see your success story. They want to see you go from the backpack to the building. They want to watch you go from the backpack to the building that you own one day. And this only happens when we focus at each given interval in our lives and we become masterful at the things we can control. And we truly focus, okay, let me go back. Let me look at my journal again. Let me write down, what can I do with my life right now in my life, specifically today? And then we look at that and say, okay, well, where am I at? And then what's the next step? And we keep investing. We reinvest in ourselves and our businesses. Like, how do you spend money on you and growing you to the next level? So few people actually do this. It shocks me. I see even Grant Cardone and all these other people constantly preaching about one of the best investments is you. And people think they're just trying to sell them and stuff. And well, maybe Grant is. But besides that, it is. The number one investment is you. You level up your skill set. You level up your intelligence. You level up the knowledge in your head, the ability to execute, and then execute on a bunch of things and understand how all these random pieces of the business work and then put them all together for you in the way that you can execute. Man, stuff starts coming in. I've seen people literally with like 6 employees in 12 months with the mindset of like, oh, I don't know if I can grow. Should I go out of business right now? Now I have 28 employees in literally 12 months because they shifted their mindset. They took different actions and they just followed the basics. And if you're like, Troy, what are the basics of business? Man, go buy Mastering the Rockefeller Habits by Vern Harnish. And if you haven't read that book and you're in business, it's a fantastic, man, it is the Bible of business. And the next version of that is a book called Scaling Up. And if you ever read the book called Scaling Up after that, man, you could study it. You could literally take a notebook, look at the book and flip through the pages. And catch this, Vern Harnish, right? And I get off track all the time, so just stay with me. Vern Harnish started a group called EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. If you haven't heard of it, if you get a chance to be a part of it, it's an amazing, amazing, all volunteer-led organization. But Vern wrote these books. One of his first EO groups had like Michael Dell, he had Steve Jobs in it, he had the guy from California Closets in some of his early groups, right? And all these guys are building big stuff. So Vern at a young age was able to see what great entrepreneurs were doing. And now he spent 20, 30 years studying some of the best of the best. He took all that information and dumped it in these books. And I call it the Bible of business because these books are fantastic. It talks about have the 10-year vision. And again, we're going back to the basics like we talked about when we first started this call, is Robert D. McDonald can teach 3 days straight on one thing, how to be a good listener. We should be able to teach 3 days straight on how to cast vision. We should be able to teach 3 days straight on how to do a 1-year plan. We should be able to teach 3 days straight on how to do 90-day planning, the next 90, how to do quarterly planning and become masterful at these things, because these are the basic tools that move us forward, right? So Ashley, go back to the slide really quick. And we're going to keep staying on track with these slides, guys. If it kills me or not, I'm going to get good at this already. Oh, what did Drew say? I already got it, and he paid $50 for it. Drew, you are the man. Is there something unique about your company? I'm going to go with this one next, right? Is there something unique about your company? So I'm working with one person right now, and we're just trying to get a basic frame. Like, again, going back to the basics, can you share your idea on the old school business card on the back of it, what your company actually does? Some industries are easier, some are more difficult. And then from there, how are you constantly reinventing and re-engaging yourself to say, okay, what is different about us? And as the world evolves and your company evolves, you've got to keep finding new and different ways of selling people on using you and getting that message out. And this is just another little box that you're responsible for in your company, if you like it or not. And you as the owner founder literally have to go through all these lists. It's like this, ready? How many people out there have read the book Relentless right now? If you haven't, it's a fantastic book. I love in one of the lists that Tim Grover puts, everything's number one. And these points, these are all number one. Man, there's like a list of a few hundred things as owner founders that we just have to do. It's not one's greater than another. All these things matter. And as your company grows and your company changes, we got to look and say, okay, well, what's unique and different about my business? How am I casting this vision about my business? And it changes when you're a one-man shop versus the 5-man shop versus the 50-man shop, right? These things will change by the years, the first 5 years, the next 10, the next 15, the next 20. Your vision will change. All right, let's go to the next slide. So the question on this one is, okay, some won't like you and others will hate you, but breaking the ice is a key skill for every leader. We are way off track with all these slides versus what I'm saying. So I'm going to get better at this organization. I'm not a speaker. I'm a sharer, guys. I'm a guy that's done things and built things. I just want to share what I know with you so you don't pay the same price and experience the same pain I did. So one of the things is this, right? As we kind of move on to this next piece, all these things, as I'm talking, what you want to be doing, guys, is take the journal, man. Get out the sheet of paper or on your phone and start writing down little things. Anything that elicits an idea, we put in the journal, right? And we mark it. Like this was just one concept I actually put, it was just ahead of the arrow. Someone was saying this on a call recently, I was just on today, and I was like, oh, I got to make a graphic. And that graphic means there's an action item associated this to me. And so when I get on these calls and I watch YouTube videos, I got notes on top of notes on top of notes. Then I take my notes and I figure out, okay, where in my life do I have to integrate these notes? See, if we're talking about your business today, take some random notes, guys, and literally think about these questions going, okay, where do I need to improve my creative in my company? Where do I need to improve my listening skills? Where do I need to improve dot, 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 dot? Then I write the note and then I figure out where in my schedule, in my calendar, I'm going to drop the action, actually take action on these things, right? Because our job is to listen, to take notes, to figure out what we're going to do with that, make a decision, and then add it into somewhere. Either we're delegating if we have teams, if we're a sole proprietor, we got to go back to the basics, and all of it's us. That means our calendar is really full with a lot of activities. And then slowly by slowly, you read the Mastering the Rockefeller Habits, and you have these divisions, and you have these groups of people that are all doing things, and you're challenging these people at a higher level. Okay, we'll go to the next one. I got this one. Oh, yes, here we go. Okay, innovate your creative approach. Number one, is it to fail forward quickly? You've got to keep trying, but often these failures will open doors, so don't give up. So this was pulled in from an old conversation we had, an old conversation that we would have with entrepreneurs back in the day for fun. The book I read a long time ago, I was literally like 18 or 19 years old. I was a lifeguard on the beach in Cocoa Beach, Florida. And I was reading this book, and the book was called Failed Forward Quickly. It was an Amway book that they were promoting when I was in Amway when I was like 18, 19 years old. It was fantastic. But the premise is the old school premise of like, okay, how are you failing forward quickly on all these things, right? Whatever it is, how are you failing forward? If you're not failing, you're not growing. Somewhere, if you're growing your business and you're growing to the next level, you're failing in something. Something's breaking. And it's okay. Again, back to the book Relentless, like, because we're about to go to the Relentless conference. We've got if you're part of EO World or an entrepreneur in Southern California, go to EO Inland Empire, and they're putting on the Relentless conference with Tim Grover. I think about 4 weeks right now, guys. It's going to be amazing. They got amazing speakers lined up for this conference. But even Tim Grover, he says this: the best of the best will just say, hey, I screwed up, and go on. Why? Because we're going to fail. It's okay to fail. Give yourself permission to fail. No guilt, no shame, no guilt, no shield on ourselves. It's okay to fail. And here's the craziest thing. If you're an owner founder and you're somebody who's building your own business, man, you give a shit about your business. You actually care, where other people and employees and sometimes don't care. They just don't. People that just run a franchise, they're just a manager, they're getting paid a salary, don't care. But when you care, you feel it, oh, it's the end of the world. And man, it gets to the end of the world where entrepreneurs like, oh, they almost feel like they're almost ready to commit suicide because something went wrong. Well, you should feel the pain, but give yourself grace, guys. Give yourself grace. It's okay to fail. We all fail. Everyone fails. Everyone F's up. Everyone screws up, right? Just say, I'm sorry. And hey, this guy, Dan Rosenthal, gave me this quote one time, right? He was a competitor of this guy that I looked up to many, many, many years ago. And he was speaking at a conference, and he said this one quote: professionals make mistakes, but will do whatever it takes to fix it. That's a professional. Is someone that will do whatever it takes to fix a problem that they or one of their team members created. Because remember, if you're an owner founder listening today, it's your fault. The success is your fault. The failure is your fault. The buck stops here. We are the owners. We are the leaders. We are the founders. We can't blame anybody else. We can't blame anybody else for our failures. We can't blame our employees. You chose them. You hired them. It's your fault. And then this is what I've had to learn myself. So I share with you, I've had to go through this growth myself because I screwed up so much in my life, right? Because I didn't know how to deal with this. No one ever had this conversation with me. Nobody. No one sat down and said, Troy, it's okay to fail. Don't feel the guilt. And you kind of hear Tony Robbins talk about it and stuff, but to actually have this conversation right here, you and me, sitting in this room tonight, sharing, hey, it's okay to fail. Just say, I'm sorry, and move on. Okay, Ash, let's go to the next slide. Let's see what else we got now. You will waste money and time pushing forward. Give yourself permission to fail. Okay, guys, ready? Just accept the fact that you will lose money. If you're an entrepreneur and you're actually going after something new and building in new areas, again, there are people that are one-hit wonders that go really, really far and never fail. And there's these random people. But then there are a lot of people that spend a lot of money and lose a lot of money along the way until they learn in that one specific area. And it's okay. Like, don't feel the pain of the past. Release it. Release the guilt. Release the shield of the past, guys. Because honestly, the world is changing so fast. There's so many new opportunities. There was a study, someone said that you can be a professional in your field in 9 months now. And so if you're an entrepreneur, we've got to release the fact and release the fear around losing time and money. It's going to happen. It's okay. It means you're gambling, you're taking calculated gamble risks to go to that next level, to build a better company, to build a better society that people work in around you, to build better products, better services. We're going to test, we're going to try, we're going to be innovative. That is the American spirit. That's why the American government and the laws have been built the way. We can have bankruptcies in America. We have given ourselves permission to fail. It's built into our heritage of the nation, the ability to fail. It is okay to fail, but it's okay to fail, get back up, and go again after the thing. Whatever that thing is you feel called to, whatever this company is that you're building right now, you feel called to this in some way, shape, or form. It may be a financial vehicle. It may be a passion project. It may be a purpose that's deeply rooted inside of you, but this is you. And if you're part of the American culture right now, living in America, it's okay to fail. Now you have permission to go succeed. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail anymore? What would you go do? Is it still the business you're doing, or is it something else? That's the gift you'll give yourself after you have the time and money and it's piled up somewhere. When you have time and money piled up, you can give yourself the gift to actually truly answer that question one day. If you can't get there yet, well, keep listening. We're going to get you the time and we're going to get you the money if you keep listening to me. And if you want to go deeper, let's talk one-on-one, guys. I'm here to go deep with you and your business. This is what I live for. This is my golf game. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get better at these slide things. Okay. I don't think it's the next slide. Oh, is that it? Nope, that's it. Okay, good. This is it. I'm doing good today, guys. All right. Okay, so this is the last slide, and we're actually getting through it. So we can go into any one of these topics super deep. Trust me on this. Like, we can dive to the nth degree. If you want somebody in your life, right? Hey, if you're broke, listen to me, catch this, don't miss this. If you're broke, you're suffering, and you're in some serious pain right now, and you don't have money to get a coach or a mentor or someone in business, hey, let's hop on the phone. You and I can go deep and have a real conversation. Like seriously, I'm there to help. If you're an entrepreneur that you want to talk to somebody and you just need a genuine person to help you process and think through something on a regular basis, I'm here to help right now. I don't know how long I will do this for, but I really love what I do right now. If you are on here today and you just need to hop on the phone, even just for an hour, and talk through something and literally try to figure out, like, okay, Troy, who do you recommend for solving this tax problem? Who do you recommend for clearing this emotional trigger that I've got? Who do you recommend for writing this book I'm working on? Who do you recommend for helping me build funnels? Who do you recommend for software architecture? Who do you recommend? Like, we've got a massive network of people that we've worked on, of people we know, we like, and we trust. Who do you recommend for a whole life policy? Like, all these things. And here's the thing. If you're looking to grow and scale and exit a company, man, I can truly help you think through ideas. I promise you, very few people can have the conversation you and I can have, or connect you to people that you probably never knew existed if you haven't been in deeply in business for 30 years. Like, I've been deeply in businesses for 30 years. So I'm going to wrap this up today. Thank you guys for trusting me and listening. I love you guys. Hope you're doing amazing. Please always reach out, always text. Like, I just want to keep serving you guys out there. And if there's specific questions, if there's any questions, I don't know. Is there any questions today we need to answer, Ashley, or not right now? Or I'm good right now. Okay. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. We'll be doing this every week until I actually learn to be a great speaker and I learn to be a great broadcaster and I get really good at this. But I am here to serve you just because I want to see you succeed. I want to see you crush it. And I want to be one of the people out there that helps keep freedom alive in this world. So onward and upward, folks. Have a great day.